introduce myself. I am Jarvis, a virtual artificial intelligence. Systems are now fully operational.
Now let that sink in, down the drain, wait for water boil up. Now I'm a kingpin, can tell the time better when I land with the sky dweller in your face. Who you gonna go die when I dissect you? The mechanics too mechanical, watch how I apply pressure. Got the aura of the junkyard, y'all could go tow him now. Spin a block how, you and your car both broken down. You sure you wanna do this, man? I don't. Alright, nigga. Fuck it, I'll get him. Dropping on a Jackie Rob, it's really no more to do. Up the bat, but can't dodge your past that 42. Damn, he moved. For 3 weeks to find it, update your resume, I designed it. You still coming back with this one syllable rhyming. Whether it's hot or not, when I'm dictating the climate. You're miserable, you're pitiful, Chris Brown ritual. At 11:11, make a wish for more residuals. It's biblical, God sent, know about his profits. I know it's in his bank account, know it's in his wallet. Back in battle rap, you was taking 2K deposits. Ask Beasley, ARP, if you think it's nonsense. No, this ain't good for him, a real battle wouldn't win. I know why you mad, it's cause I'm everything you could have been. I'm really just annoyed with, I winded up and toyed with meals for my enjoyment, I'm really disappointed. The difference is Mook with the angles, Lux with the lyrics. Up on Linux, what you started, them other niggas finished. Now I get it, why you live it, all of your work's diminished. Did a battle for free and then Smack started a business. Overdue, you emotional, get downplayed in minutes. Doing well, URL, they ain't even link you in it. I'ma serve you, believe that. Ron Browns with the weak raps, the only time you bring your drums out is with a beat pack. Griselda reject, you wasn't even good to sign. Oren bum, West Side water gun, and I shook his pride. My way, you on the 4th rope, and I took my time. They gon' feel some kind way about you in them butchered lines. You being a rapper, nigga, keep dreaming. Talk about my tooth, but all them plaques need a deep cleaning. I got the crown, you can see that I'm winning. Tell Mickey I'm speaking facts, we don't need your opinion. Hey Jarvis, you still ain't impressed me, so this shit is over with. It's not right you can't get your mind right. Early 2000s with your peak was in the limelight. In hindsight you buy likes. Never did the source give you 5 mics. SS diamonds, they never shine bright. I rhyme like everything I've been through in my life. Emotional, sensitive nigga, can't get his pride right. Maxing out your credit cards every time you swipe twice, bitch. You just acting like you rich. Makai Fife. See, I'm really paid in full. I define style. My taste different. I wouldn't shop with Ron Browns. Champagne sipping, this stage different. This my crowd. In a Sprinter with bottles. Let's hit the Apollos. How much for? Tree stumps, they need luck. So who's who? Don't let the blogs and cute lighting confuse you. Know you insecure. This ain't what you used to. Update your resume. You did this for proof.
You are now listening to the sounds of the boy. Ain't never been outside. No.
Never. It's J Mills. Check me out though. I'm petty for no reason. I guess it's just in my. She said he rap okay, but he ain't got my. And if you pussy, do some research on you. I never heard nobody say put on that. I tried to look up his resume in the streets, but I tried to find some niggas that he moved some work with, but let's take him to church. Lord, please, I try to tell him they ain't stepping how I'm stepping. I'm a lesson, I'm a weapon, I'm a teacher. Mama stretch him, mama shoot him. You gon' catch them bullets in your cerebellum. Fuck that corny shit you selling, fuck that corny shit you reppin'. Nah, I had you up in church, but it won't be for a blessing. You from Queens, only right, I make you run like the Reverend. I'm from Harlem, only right, I get dead before I dead him. Thank the Lord for all the questions and the constant disrespecting. How the fuck we talking accolades when... Hey, why y'all send that boy my way when y'all know damn well? Psychiatrist in the 4th grade, boy, I been bad. Brain evaluations, doctor taking notes, pen and pad. My success got you mad, tried it, now you getting dragged. I'm the post, you the draft. I'm the party, you the trash. You said ask about me, I asked. They said, word. Let me ask my blunt on this nigga real quick, man. Yo, you good, but I'm great, nigga. Oh, you doing good? Well, that's great, nigga. You like 20 years late, nigga. This ain't no race, nigga. Ain't no finish line. I'm home base, nigga. I'm first place, nigga. You just a plate, nigga. Talking my shit just in my leather gloves, or so I don't leave no. Boy, you my son. Still somehow ain't got my. Playing with me, I do not approve. That's why they let that boy cross the street by himself when they know. That's crazy. And never did leaving this house for a battle event. Okay, switchy on the Glock, shoot you out your Crocs. Most hated, cookout traffic backed up for 20 blocks. I'm a legend in my section, you a peasant. I will watch you die from starvation. Get up out my chair and go get second. Why they playing with him? That nigga Mills bought some shells with him. It's like the ghost of Big L with him. Eric, you don't way up on that scale with him. This that hell in a cell feeling, but I ain't wrestling no. Jake, I'm surgical with this bitch, you ain't never blow. Another 24-hour fitness baller calling out a professional. I think it's best you know, I ain't no gardener, but from the dirt, I will turn your ass into a vegetable. That glow you had evaporated. Out all the subjects, math my favorite, and you getting killed cause you calculated. And the day that you can fuck with me is the day 1 + 1 = 3. I put in too much work to let a geek nigga play with me. Fuck DNA, I've been him since I went to A&D. Back in art and design, I was running through the hallways, battling between every period. This was always extra cartridge. Sketch the artist, Eric, we need more passion. One hand over the other, I call it cross hatching. My queen's killers tell me. Ass Lux, ass Rex, ass Mook, they'll tell you. Facts. I ain't done with you, boy. And the corniest nigga ever award winner is. You ain't nothing special, nigga. You just a whole full bitch. And yo, I never heard nobody say put on that. And never will. It's J Mills. Game over.
All right. Let's go over here. Make sure my mic is working this week. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, sound good. Yeah, man. You know, I just I just go with this stream yard and that stuff they got going on. But let me get it. Welcome. Hope you all had a very good week. Hope you had a very good weekend. Yeah. Oh man. Brother feeling good, man. Brother feeling good. Get shout out to those who have made themselves known. And I was told to have to start doing this more often because I be slack, but y'all know me, man. It makes me know never mind. You know, like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff they say on the YouTube. Like I said, give shout out to those who made themselves known, and those of you that are hanging out the couch, catching on the replay, always appreciate it. Let's see, DMO. Why am I not surprised that you're first? All right, let's see who else up in the building. Brother of a certain age, yeah. Been a rough 24 hours for you, brother. Been a rough 24 hours. What's going on? Uncle's in the building. You early? What's going on, brother? Yeah, it's good, but I need some scoring. I need some scoring. I need some scoring. When I clocked out, it was 0-0, man. I wasn't too happy about that. What's going on, Miss Barber? Listening for the class. Okay. Cool. Back to it. You back doing content in the new year, take care of a lot of things. Listen. I get it. I get it. Trust me. It's going to kind of tie into tonight's pulpit a little bit. It's going to tie in a lot, a little bit into that lesson. Man, we all got priorities, man. We all got priorities, man. Stuff that, real life is real life. This social media stuff, this content stuff. Listen, it ain't going nowhere. It'll be there. So no worries on that end. Listen, we'll get there. we'll get there. But nice to see you. I know it's a kind of a tense moment for you Eagles fans. I'm kind of, torn for who to pull for. I should be pulling for the Packers, but that's, if I had a second, most hated team, it'd be Green Bay. So, I really hope the damn game ends at a tie. I'll be honest with you. Right now, 3-0. Philly's up. We should end at the damn tie. That would warm my heart. But yeah, I'm just like messing around with this StreamYard thing. Listen, StreamYard is doing. Now you got the regular landscape and the vertical. We'll see how it kind of goes. They allow you to hide it, but I like how it kind of you have both screens up here. But yeah, this is it's a hate-filled Monday for a Cowboys fan. Listen, I wanted to see both teams tie. Since I can't, get both of you, I'll take a tie. But to be honest, it's I'm here for the football. Yeah. Even though we didn't play this week, I'm still talking about my boys. We're gonna of course get into the breakdown of this weekend's NFL action. I want to get into for you Giants fans, we're gonna kind of start off the show. Brian Daboll getting canned, getting fired. We'll kind of talk about that. Speaking of Cowboys, on a more serious note, I want to get into the Marshawn Kneeland situation a little bit more and kind of discuss that at length a little bit tonight. Of course, I like to talk about my favorite reality show, which is the Trump administration. Is the shutdown over? Who won? Who's winning? We'll kind of talk about it and, of course, get up on out of here, man. They're going to be here. I'm not sure. Listen, on my screen, it shows 6. But it's always a pleasure, man. Eventually, probably around Christmas, man. We'll get into the NBA a little bit heavy. Been watching a couple games, kind of start the season out. Listen, I don't really get into the NBA heavy at least. I'm like, I really start monitoring it at least around All-Star break. There's too many goddamn games. It's such a long season. But the Spurs look serious. And it pains me to say this, but have the Lakers figuratively, mentally moved on from the LeBron James era. I might touch on that a little bit later in the show because it's been interesting watching these Lakers play to start the season, to really, kind of get into that. Is this LeBron fit in the new Lakers? I mean, it's a question you really got to ask yourself. But let's start out with kind of like the NFL news of the day. Brian Daboll, head coach of the New York Giants, gets canned, gets fired after his team loses yet another game they was leading in. How you give up a 10-point lead with 4 minutes left? But this is not the first time this has happened this season. We all knew Brian Daboll was a lame duck coach coming into the season. The edict came down from ownership. LeBron, a Swiss Army knife. Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll definitely kind of talk about it because it's curious when you watch him. Like, how does he kind of fit in like this new like Aiton has been a pleasant surprise, but we'll kind of get into that. Should Russ retire? I say yes. Oh, well, Miss Murphy, I'm not going to go as far. We'll talk about the game. We'll talk about the game. But I want to kind of get to Brian Daboll, like I said, get fired. We kind of knew it was coming. He should have been fired last year. I'm be honest with you. Should have been fired last year. But they gave him another shot. Brought in Jackson Dart. Was some promise there. New York has a pretty good squad when healthy. Competitive squad when healthy, but this has not been kind of materialize it into wins for them this season. Like I said, this is the 4th time this season. I'm talking about the Bears game that they just lost. 4th time this season that they have lost the game in which they led at least by 10 points with 4 minutes left to play. You just cannot keep choking games in the manner in which they choke games. And I'm not, like I said, I don't want to put we can only see one chat. Brother, this is it's okay. I would say this about StreamYard. I wanted to test it out for tonight, but probably moving forward, I probably won't do the verticals because it does kind of split it up. For people that are watching on the vertical, you can't see who's on the landscape. So I can see both. So it works for me. But I just wanted to kind of test it out for tonight. But they do give you the option with the StreamYard to where you can do one or the other. So you don't have to do both. So just kind of, put that bug in there for my creators out there. You don't have to do both. It gives you the option if you're on a paid plan to kind of do both. I just wanted to try it out, see how it kind of looks. It, kind of looks the same, because you see like the vertical screen and then you see like the landscape screen. But I just wanted to kind of try it out for the night. Going forward, I'll probably, do the traditional way, just keep it landscape. That way everybody can see everybody. But if you're in a vertical and it's people might be over the landscape, either way. But back to the action. Yeah, Brown Dayball's teams choked some games this year. Jackson Dart has gotten hurt. I want to say this is the fourth time this season. You think you're gonna do both, but brother? I mean, it looks cool. It looks cool. Now, what that equates to as far as chat engagement, I don't know, because if you can't, it might be some of y'all in one chat and another. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, but it's a dope addition. It's a dope addition. But I play with it, man. I might play with it. I I mean, like, I see people kind of been doing it all day today. It's not a weird thing to me, but it may be a weird thing for the chat. But back to the action. We'll get to the technical stuff later in the show. Like I said, this team is choked some games. Jackson Dart has gotten hurt. I want to say this is the fourth time this season. He's been in concussion protocol, and some of that has to fall on the coach. Really stressing. Yes, you kind of like his fearless play, the reckless play. But you don't want to, Jackson Dart to turn into Tua in regards to, always having concussion issues, hindering his play, hindering his time on the field. Like I said, Jackson Dart has been a pleasant surprise. He's had a pretty good start to a rookie season, but he's been hurt with the head injuries a little bit too much. And we'll kind of get into, coaches, sometimes you got to protect your players from themselves. We kind of look at the situation that's going on in Washington. We'll kind of talk about that a little bit in detail a little bit later in the show. But you look at the situation in Washington, not just with Jaden Daniels, but previously RG3. There's sometimes coach, you got to protect these young players from themselves. Listen, he thinks he's Superman. He thinks he's young, dumb, and doesn't realize that hey, these guys are just as big, just as fast, or faster than what you were seeing in college. So you're not these are men. You're playing young men in college, but these are grown men, full-time professionals, and they will put a hurting on you if you allow them. And the best ability in football is availability. You can't affect team success if you're not on the field. And unfortunately, the game kind of turned when he went down and got hurt, caused the Bears. I will say this about the Chicago Bears: they have been a pleasant surprise this season. Caleb has shown some growth from his rookie year. I would say he's shown some growth from his rookie year. Still kind of gets in trouble at times and can be erratic at times, but he shows some growth. In Chicago team, I'm not saying that this is a world beating team. Hey, beautiful, how you doing? Always nice to see you. He has some ability, but this has been a pleasant surprise, a good start for the Chicago Bears. We'll see how this carries on through the second half of the season. But they come back and win yesterday against the Giants team. Like I said, it was up by 10 with 4 minutes left to play. I thought, Chicago was going to be able to get a late touchdown and New York was going to be able to kind of hold on. And back to what Ms. Murphy was saying, to Russ retire. I think Russell Wilson, well, it's clear his best days are definitely behind him. His best days are definitely behind him. Luckily for him, this is a 1-year deal that he has in New York. Unless Dart gets cleared for protocol. Listen, if I'm New York, you're 2-8. Season is over. You're not really playing for a draft pick, a high draft pick. When I'm talking about high draft pick, trying to get a quarterback for the future. So you're not in that boat. But Wilson, I think it's time to find you a situation, find you a team to where you can be a backup with no pressure on you. Where I don't want to see Russell Wilson. I still think he's a serviceable enough quarterback for any team that is trying to be successful. I think he's serviceable enough for a game or two, but long-term starter, no. I think Russ needs to find himself in a situation to where he's clearly the backup, meaning where um, he's backing up a Patrick Mahomes, a Jordan Love, where the starter is clearly established. It is not any threat from him. I don't know if he needs to leave the league, man. I don't know about all that. He's still serviceable. I mean, Russ has looked bad this year. I mean, but as Justin Fields looked like he's been electrifying, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Uh, it may be time for me to sell my Justin Fields stock. And if you've been watching the show, you guys know I have a lot of stock into Justin Fields being successful. But it may be time. Well, Russ is a little bit self-absorbed, but I think he's serviceable enough to you put him in a situation where he's not a threat to the starter, meaning a situation like in Cincinnati, a situation in Buffalo, where he's able to. You guys are the consensus that Russ should be out of the league today? Listen, he's looked bad this year, but he didn't look all that bad in Pittsburgh. He's just like he's reached a point of his career where he's not a starter. It's about him here. Damn, Mark, tell me how you feel. Tell me how you feel. But no, I think Russ should be in a situation, like I said, the starter is firmly established, the starter is firmly entrenched, and he's there for spot duty. If Carson Wentz can stick around the league and get spot starts like he did earlier this season before he got hurt in Minnesota, I think Russ can. I think his resume says so. I think his resume kind of says so that he can still be in the league. He's not long term. If I need a game, Russ is not a bad option to go to. Do I look at Russ as a leader of a team? No. Do I think Russ is? Here's like the tricky part with Russ. Off the field, Russ looks like the model citizen, good guy, takes care of his family, no run-ins, no extra stuff, no rumors of him doing anything underhanded, no drug allegations. Seems like a good guy off the field. It's just when he's in the stadium, in the locker room, it's a little bit different. He doesn't give off the leadership qualities. He doesn't give off those same kind of qualities that he gives off the field. He comes off in the football sense, comes off like a diva, a guy who think he's bigger than the team, guy who think he's bigger than the option. And you have a point there. He doesn't command the team. I think we're at that point of the career where you can't look at Russ as he's more journeyman. But I think you can get a start or two out of Russ. I think he's still talented enough, with the proper cast around him, to where he can give you he can give you a game or two. But Russ don't need to be the starter. And I hate that we kind of come to that point, but that's where we at with Russ. Russ is not NFL starter material. If I'm Russ, let me go to a situation where I can kind of be in a situation to where if needed, I can come in, but I want to be, with a playoff team. It's not even about the money anymore. It's not even about the money anymore. I think, Russ, if he's managed his money right, you should be good to go at this point of your career. Find you a situation. I'm chasing a ring. If that means, going to, let's say Detroit as a backup. I mean, put him in a situation where he's not a threat to the starter. I think that's the best thing for Russ if he wants to extend his career. But if after this season, I don't think it's going to be anybody really looking at Russ as a starter. Actually going out and pursuing him to be the lead dog in the house. I just don't see it. But for Giants fans, it's been a double blow. You guys choke yet another game. You get rid of your head. Well, I guess if you're a Giants fan, I guess you look at Brian Daboll getting fired. Who is Philly Live? Philly Live is Miss Murph. It's Miss Murph. I know you've been MIA for a while, but yeah, that's Miss Murph, man. That's Miss Murph. Okay, but moving on to the rest of the action from yesterday. I think we go ahead and get into the Washington Commanders, who get blown out by the Detroit Lions, 44-22. Of course, Jaden Daniels gone for an extended period of time, maybe gone for the rest of the season after suffering an injury last week. Marcus Mariota comes in, but they come in on demand. This is a Washington team who made the playoffs last year, but was one of the teams I was like, yeah, I'm not entirely sold on coming into the season. Have had some injuries, especially to the quarterback, top three wide receivers. This team has not performed well. They're currently sitting at 3-7. It's safe to say that if I'm watching Jaden Daniels doesn't see the field no more this year, even if he is healthy, just kind of just ride out Mariota and look, kind of build for next season. Kudos to the Detroit Lions, who offensively look as powerful as they've always looked, especially over the last couple of years. Detroit is going to be a problem. It's like this team is kind of like figured some things out on the defensive side. This is still not a great defensive team, but it's still a team that is more than capable of getting a stop here and there. And that's the scary thing with Detroit. If they can start getting stops here and there, with this offense, they can get it going. Now, probably the biggest takeaway, of course, President Trump was attended the game yesterday, got booed. And I was going to say this to the second part of the show, but I just find it fascinating. I just find it fascinating when you look at Trump. The reports are coming out that Trump wants the Washington Commanders to name the new stadium that is being built in the D.C. area. He wants the stadium to be named after him, and in so many words, he's kind of put it out there that if they don't seriously consider naming the stadium after him, he's going to make it, through, legal channel. I wouldn't even say really legal channels, but through channels. Well, with his influence over government agencies, make it kind of hard to kind of get certain stuff done if they choose to go a different direction other than naming the stadium after him. Considering he's done, it's his own words, he's done so much to get the deal done. He's done so much to get the deal done to where they can get the stadium in the DC area. I want to say it's a $3 billion, if I'm not mistaken, $3 billion stadium. The team will be contributing up to 2, and the city, Washington DC, will be contributing up to 1 towards building the stadium. So Trump has already come out earlier this season, said he wants the Commanders to change their name back to the Redskins. He said it doesn't feel right calling them Commanders. And now he says he wants the team to name the new stadium after him. Man, this dude, his ego. And it's a strong, and here's the scary part. It is a strong possibility that the team is seriously considering it, considering that the owner is very close with Trump. Like I said, invited him out to the yesterday's game yesterday, hosted him there, has been a frequent visitor to Mar-a-Lago, a campaign supporter. So it is a strong possibility that the Washington, it could be the Redskins next year if Trump gets his way. The Washington football team, the Washington Commanders, could be playing in Mile High Trump Stadium next year, some shit like that. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, Ms. Bird, but hey, yeah, but moving on from that, of course, like I said, Commanders go down, not surprising. Probably one of the biggest surprises yesterday was the Buffalo Bills getting dog walked down in Miami, losing to the Dolphins 30-13. Buffalo coming off a very big win against the Kansas City Chiefs last week. Losing against a Dolphins team that has been rudderless, a team that I've been saying since before the season started, hey, fire sale. team didn't trade as many pieces that I thought they would at the deadline. But you here's the thing with Buffalo, and this is why it's been kind of shaky. And that's why I have Colts. And I said this a couple weeks ago, Colts to me have looked like the best team in the AFC because they've looked the most consistent. Buffalo, these are the games you look back on when we're talking about, possibly getting home field advantage throughout the playoffs. These are the games you kind of look back on at this stretch of the season. You're looking, we're 10 games, we're 10 weeks in. You're 10 weeks in. This is not like, they caught you at the beginning of the season where you were still kind of getting your foot in. You come off a very big win against Kansas City. You go on the road, have a letdown and a major letdown against a Miami Dolphins team that is, kind of like this playing with house money. Dolphins have no real shot unless a miracle happens and they make a magic run. Phil, listen. Y'all listen. You guys got my notes. Damn. Because listen, I was gonna mention that for the second part of the show. The Turning Point USA. Some of those talking points will be introduced into schools. I want to say Oklahoma has signed off on doing it, and I want to say a couple more of those red states are thinking about doing it also. To where the Turning Point USA talking points, MAGA Nation and all that stuff. It's going to be kind of taught in school. So listen, I mean, they've already told him that he wanted a $1 coin in his image. They told him they don't do that. The Treasury had to tell him, hey, we don't do that for any living president. But this dude and his ego. But speaking of ego, Buffalo Eagles got to be a little bit crushed after getting dog walk against Miami. Just like I said, these are games you got to win. These are games you got to win when you're talking about where you're looking at the rest. You're looking at the rest of that. Hell, just look at your division. When you're talking about the division, we'll talk about the Patriots in just a second, who moved to 8-2. You fall behind. You fall behind the Patriots in the race for the division. And these are the kind of games you look back on against the Miami team that has been, just down in the dumps even before the season started. And you lose bad. So, we'll see if Buffalo is able to kind of pick themselves up. But this is why I kind of moved off of Buffalo. Still my Super Bowl pick. I think when the chips are down, I still think this is talent-wise the most complete team in the AFC, but it's not playing like it. Speaking of the Colts, who I said a couple weeks ago, went to the eye test. If you've been watching, look like the best team in the AFC. Take care of business. Where's the score for that one? Colts. I know they won. Yeah, Colts. Colts beat the Falcons in overtime. Jonathan Taylor back looking like one of the best backs in the NFL. And Daniel Jones. Listen, I know Giants fans don't want to hear this. I know Giants fans get mad. Thinking about it, that the fact that Daniel Jones is look, and I'm gonna say this, he may not end up winning MVP, but you can now look at the Indianapolis Colts and not give some consideration to Daniel Jones with his play since coming to Indianapolis and becoming the starter. Daniel Jones has looked good. If at the bare minimum, if the Colts continue to trend in the way in which they're trending, looking like the best team in the AFC, if Daniel Jones doesn't get MVP votes, he's damn sure going to the Pro Bowl. But I think Daniel Jones playing the way he has played this year has allowed Jonathan Taylor to really get back onto the national stage and to the national spotlight. As it was a time period there a couple years ago when Jonathan Taylor was looked at as the best back in football. And he's starting to look like that again. Monster day yesterday, over 200 plus yards on the ground against a very, very game Falcons team. For you Falcons fans, and I know there's one out there. He's probably catch it on the replay. You just got to start asking yourself. I mean, we're 10 weeks into the season. Is it plausible? Is it plausible? This might be a bit of a reach. But could the Falcons, depending on how this season ends up, and they're currently sitting at 3-6, is it plausible that the Falcons could be looking at the draft for a new quarterback? Because if you've been watching the games And you've been kind of watching the progression or lack thereof. Philly up 10-0. I knew you would come in with the score update. Oh, come in with the score update. You see, now I'm gonna have to catch the second half on the replay. Damn. Come on, Green Bay. I need you to tie this shit up like you did with us early this season. Come on, Green Bay. I need that. I need that. But back to the Falcons. Is it plausible? I want Falcons fans, the Falcon fan. I want you to chime in when you can. But anybody that watches, is Michael Penix really the answer at quarterback? He's really the answer? Like Drake London has turned into a true number one receiver. Kyle Pitts has had a better year than he's had in the past couple seasons. Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, that two-headed monster there. That run game offensively looked good. The defense, all things considered, and this is a very young defense. This defense has played above expectations, but you're currently sitting at 3-6. And Michael Penix play to me has not. It's kind of been like the sore spot has kind of been the weak spot. We're gonna get to the Cowboys segment. Yes, it is beautiful. Yes, it is beautiful. that is his team. And next time you see him, you ask him, is Michael Penix your answer at quarterback? We're gonna get to the Cowboys section. I know the haters are waiting, but let me get to the action, and we'll kind of talk about the boys in a more serious tone. Looking at another big game yesterday. Had the Patriots taking care of business on the road in Tampa Bay. Two very good teams. Two very underrated teams. Very good football game, 28-23. Drake May and continues to kind of, drop some buckets, some coins into his hat for MVP. I don't think anybody outside of a diehard Patriots fan could tell you at week 10 that not only do they think that New England will be sitting at 8-2, but will be sitting at the top of the AFC East at this late juncture into the season. The Patriots, outside of the Colts, have been playing the most consistent football of anybody this season. The Patriots are it's not a flashy team. It's not a lot of big monster plays. It's not a high-powered offense. It's not like this is the 2000 Ravens defense. This is a team that is playing very sound, winnable football, the kind of football you can win in September, October, November, December, and January. This is a team that runs the ball well. Drake May doesn't put the ball in harm's way too often. They make enough plays on offense when they have to. They make enough plays on defense. This is kind of a bend, don't break. Like I said, this is not a overpowering defense, but the Patriots have one of the better defenses in the league. On the flip side of that, Tampa Bay is another team that is playing winning football. It was a kind of a touch and go game there for a while. You had two very good teams, but the Patriots, I look at 8-2. Only a Patriots fan would have said, yeah, they had that on the bingo card. Had there on the bingo card. Falcons quarterback looked good. No, we not doing that. We're not doing that. Penix does not look good. Penix has not looked good. Penix does not look good. He's looking Penix, even though he started a couple games last year, I look at this as his truly a rookie. Is he a bad quarterback? No, but in a quarterback-rich draft that we have coming up, and your team is currently sitting at 3-6, and you really got to ask yourself, is Penix? Because a lot of people didn't have Penix going in the first round. When the Falcons drafted him, they had him kind of projected as a second round, pick in that draft. If the Falcons continue to trend in which they trending, which is losing, is it feasible to kind of look at possibly bringing in a guy that's depending on where they pick in the draft, considered a number one? Because like I said, Penix it was a surprise when they picked him. Especially after you had just brought in Kirk Cousins, gave him, you gave him all that money in the offseason, then you draft Penix in the first round, which kind of, like I said, shocked a lot of people when you drafted him, or where you drafted him at. So, Fox fans be up. But back to the Patriots, kudos to the Patriots. Like I said, 8-2. They're playing very winnable football. Buffalo, this kind of drives home the point. You fall behind even more in the division, and you can't. I'll say this about the Patriots: they don't lose games they're supposed to win. Meaning where if they're playing good sound football, they don't beat themselves. So Buffalo, you got a hell of a challenge on your hands. If this is not the Patriots from last year. I'm be honest with you like that. This is not the Patriots from last year. This is a team that plays a lot of mistake-free football, and you're gonna have to beat them. This is not a team that's going to beat themselves. Speaking of teams, kind of beating themselves, it was a couple. Cleveland Browns lose to the Jets yesterday, and normally I wouldn't really comment on two teams that are at the bottom of their division, bottom of the league. But you got a lot of question marks, a lot of questions coming out of this game. You look on the Jet side, yes, they win, but of course it took some special teams play. He had a kickoff return, punt return for touchdown. You don't typically see that on a week-to-week basis. Justin Fields, I talked about this a little bit at the start of the show. It may be time for me to kind of sell my Justin Fields stock. I've been championing this young man. I thought he got a bad rap in Chicago. I didn't think he got a fair shake. Well, Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins. But Justin Fields, I didn't think he got a truly fair shake in Pittsburgh, considering that he started the season out kind of 4-2, but they kind of went back to Russell Wilson just because he was quote unquote penciled in as the starter before he got hurt before the season. And then he comes to the Jets. Granted, this is not a very uber talented offense. Still have some problems and issues along the offensive line, but you do have a very quality, very good running back in Breece Hall. Receiving core is not horrible. It's not the best in the league, but it's not horrible. But Justin Fields, for a team to win the game yesterday, he goes 6 for 11 for 54 yards. And granted, 42 of those yards came on the big screen pass to Breece Hall late in the second half. It's I'm gonna see how the season kind of ends for Justin Fields. That's about the only noteworthy thing I have about the Jets. This is a team that traded away quote unquote two of the two best defensive players they had. Quentin Williams, who was traded to the Cowboys, who we'll get to and Sauce Gardner, traded to the Colts. I think that was a good pickup for them. But Justin Fields, this is about the only thing I have left to watch in regards to the New York Jets for the rest of the season. I can't explain 6 of 11, dude. I can't explain it. Then when you look on the flip side of it, yesterday you have Dylan Gabriel. You had another start. Yet another underwhelming performance as the starter, Kevin Stefanski. Yeah, I think Pittsburgh should have kept Fields. I think Fields should have rolled Fields until he really started kind of losing games. He looked like he fit in what Pittsburgh was trying to do last year. But hey, I'm not the coaching staff. But on the flip side of it, speaking of the coaching staff, Kevin Stefanski has tied his boat, his season to Dylan Gabriel and his development, and I think Dylan Gabriel's in a very difficult position because you're a rookie that is actually be a starter. What in my opinion was way too early, but you're actually be a starter and carry on being a starter, simply for the fact that the head coach does not and refuses. Listen, unless Dylan Gabriel gets hurt and Zappy gets hurt, you'll never see Shedeur Sanders on the field. Not in any meaningful capacity. Stefanski has come out, been very adamant that Dylan Gabriel is his starter. And listen, like I said, it's nothing negative. It seems like I said, Dylan Gabriel's in a weird position because people hate that you got a job that by no engineering of your own, that you wasn't ready for. You wasn't ready for it. I've seen enough of a sample size. I saw enough of a sample size for Dylan Gabriel in college. I thought he was a decent college quarterback, but nothing about him, says he's the answer at starter. He's the answer at starter, and this is why the Browns doing that. Well, listen, we all kind of figured out that this is kind of like to humble Shedeur Sanders. Kind of, and it's really sending a message to the the NIL players that coming in, like don't think you too big to be humble, because we did it to Mr. NIL coming into this league. Yeah, Cleveland is not a it's not a serious organization. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. This is not a very serious organization. This is not an organization that's really serious about winning. Yeah, there you go. See, you come here, post the scores, Green Bay gets on the board. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. But when you look at the Cleveland Browns organization, this has never been a serious organization about winning. Yeah, they had a winning season a couple of years ago. This is not an organization built. Like, how can you walk out of this draft a guy in the third round, who a lot of people had going lower than the third round, draft a guy in the fifth round who a lot of people had going first, no later than second. So you waste 2 draft picks on quarterback. You bring back Flacco. You sign Kenny Pickett. Oh, by the way, you still have Deshaun Watson on contract. Flacco gives you what, 3-4 games, and he wasn't horrible. But let's look at the talent that Cleveland has. You don't have a top-notch running game. Outside of Jerry Jeudy and Njoku, your receiver core don't scare nobody. Your offensive line is mid at best. Is mid at best. This is not a serious organization. This is not. And like I said, the only reason we would even be talking about Cleveland, I told you guys at the beginning of the season, it was only because of Shedeur Sanders. Listen, and at this point, Stefanski has made it clear, like, he don't give a damn how mediocre, how subpar Dylan Gabriel plays. And like I said, Dylan Gabriel is he's a journeyman. He's got the journeyman build. That's his skill set. He's Cooper Rush in the Browns uni. Dylan Gabriel is a career backup that you drafted in the third round. Think about that. You draft him in the third round, but you refuse. You refuse, because the last thing Stefanski wants to do is put Shedeur Sanders in there. And not to say that this team is going to take off, and no. You don't want to put Shedeur Sanders in there. This for the simple fact, if Shedeur Sanders plays half of as well as we think he can play, now you're going to have your fan base is turning on you. But now you're going to have to really look at your team. Like, you mean to tell me this guy, we could have had this guy earlier this year playing, and he gives us a better chance to win than Dylan Gabriel? And I think the locker room knows it. You kind of see Myles Garrett kind of hinting at it in some of his post game sound bites this year. Like, listen, you don't want the world to see Shedeur. Like I said, it's not like I think Shedeur Sanders is going to come in and be the next Tom Brady. But based on the film and what I have seen from them on the field, and all I have to go off of is what he did in college, Shedeur looked like the better quarterback. And there's a reason why he was projected first round. And it was a reason why Dylan Gabriel wasn't. But Stefanski I'm going to ride this Dylan Gabriel train till the wheels fall off, even if it costs me my job. He will bring some. Listen, I believe he'll bring excitement. I think Shedeur Sanders has a much better arm than Dylan Gabriel. We coming into the draft, Dylan Gabriel does not have a cannon of an arm. He's Cooper Rush. You're a career back. We can't build a system that'll fit you in the NFL. You can't build a system that puts Dylan Gabriel on par with, let's say, a Daniel Jones, who is more talented than Dillon, or Drake May, or a Mac Jones, what he's been doing out in San Francisco. We can't build a system around you. Physically, Brock Purdy is more talented physically than Dylan Gabriel. And it's no fault of his own. This is not a good team, but all I can go off is what you provide on the field, what you put on film, and this looked mid. It just looked mediocre. But Stefanski at this point, look, what do you have to lose by putting Shador out? If he's as bad as you say he is, he's third string material as you say he is, and how he looks in practice. Are we sure you're not? No. I just when you think about when you look at this past draft, who was the number 5? Listen, Cowboy blood runs deep. Listen, this has nothing to do with Cowboy Nation. When the biggest takeaway you have from this draft is where Shador Sanders ended up getting drafted. I'm just let's keep it. Who a lot of people can't tell you outside of like what is what notable first round player has kind of lit up the league. Who in the first round that got drafted this year has lit up the league to where we're talking about them on a weekly basis. Jackson Dart has looked well, but it's not like he's doing something transformative. He's looked well in his limited time. He's looked like a rookie. But when we look back at this draft, it's going to be known as the Shador Sanders draft, unless somebody. Yes, back to the regular stream. Welcome back, beautiful. Listen, next time I'll make it less confusing. I'll keep it to the landscape. Keep it to the landscape. No, my Cowboys ties has nothing to do with it. This, like I said, the only reason we talk about Cleveland quarterback situation. Other than that, you're not that interesting. You're not that interested. Going over some of the other action from yesterday, had the Seahawks smashing the Cardinals 44-22. Seattle has looked good. Sam Darnold has looked good in this offense. Seattle quietly sitting there at 7-2. Could be a dark horse in the NFC this year. Could be a dark horse. But this is probably the toughest division right now in the NFC because you had the Seahawks win. They go to their record 7-2. Moving to 7-2 yesterday also was the Los Angeles Rams, who are now the 6-4 49ers. It's going to be a hard fight in that division. This might be a division you might see 2, maybe 3 teams get into the playoffs. Rams have looked good. 49ers, even though Brock Purdy has been hurt, Mac Jones has looked very well in this offense. Could be having a quarterback controversy. On our hands. Could we have a quarterback controversy? Because Brock Purdy, Mac Jones has looked as well, if not better at times, than you in this offense. But the Rams and Seahawks both pick up wins. Like I said, it's going to be a very close division as we come down. But of course, it's the NFC West. Most people are not tuned in and locked in. But it's some good football being played out there. Speaking of good football being played out there on the West, had the Chargers take care of business against the Pittsburgh Steelers, winning yesterday 25-10. Chargers have looked more consistent than they have in past years. Justin Herbert, another decent game. Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh got the look of a team that and Mike Tomlin is known for having winning records. Not to say that Pittsburgh won't end up with a winning record. But considering the chaos that has been going on in the division, with the Browns being what the Browns are, the Bengals being what the Bengals are, Lamar Jackson, who missed some time earlier this year, Pittsburgh really had an opportunity to kind of put themselves in a stronghold for this division. But now, you're only a game up. Only a game up. I think this was a missed opportunity for Pittsburgh. Chargers needed this win to kind of keep pace out there in the AFC West with the Denver Broncos, who won early in the week on the Thursday game. The Chargers have looked good defensively. This team has looked very good all year. Justin Herbert has made the plays when he's needed to make the plays, and if you're not watching these teams, man, you better watch. The Chargers are playing some real good football. This year. Kind of a throwaway game. Panthers, lose to the Saints division game. Panthers. I don't know. This is one of those games. If you're trying to be an up and coming team, these are the kind of games you need to win. But congratulations if you're a Saints fan, and I know it may be one that may be listening to me. I think this is Rodgers last year. Barring Pittsburgh winning the Super Bowl, I think this is Rodgers last year. I'll be honest with you. Rest of the week's action, he had the Texans in a nondescript game against the Jaguars, taking care of business there, 36-29. That division, pretty much the Colts and everybody else. So I'm not gonna waste too much time. CJ Stroud, and that offense, Texans. I might need to do a deeper dive. What happened to this team, man? Where did they go wrong? This was a team we thought was on a come up a couple of years ago, and middle of the road. Speaking of a team that is getting hot, since the return of their quarterback, talking about the Baltimore Ravens to take care of business against the Vikings, 27-19. Lamar Jackson, like he's kind of getting back into the groove of things. Still, they're still waiting for Baltimore to play their brand of ball, but this team is starting to look good. Give me just 1 second, y'all. All right, I'm back, y'all. I had to take a phone call from Jerry Jones. All this. No, it ain't just you. I had to take a phone call from Jerry Jones. He kind of peeped in and saw all this Cowboys hate from Unc earlier. So I had to let him know, be cool on that. Yeah, I'm gonna get into the sports betting thing in just a sec. Give me just a sec. But before I kind of get into the sports betting, I want to kind of talk about the Marshawn Kneeland situation. This is about the only newsworthy thing from the Cowboys. Sadly, he passed away last week. Reports are that it was a suicide. For those who don't know who Marshawn Kneeland is, a defensive lineman. I want to say he was in his second year, 24 years old. Not a starter, was part of a rotation. Just based on his level of play on the field, was not like the next Lawrence Taylor, but a serviceable player. But he died to apparent suicide, and it got me to thinking. And I was going to save a little bit of this for the pulpit portion of the show, but I wanted to kind of get into this because it kind of deserved its own singular segment for tonight's show. It got me to thinking how much more pressure players, and not just the NFL, but just players in general, but just people in general, how much pressure they are up under. How big is the microscope? How powerful is the lens on the microscope that these athletes, these celebrities, just regular people, people are constantly watching, people are constantly critiquing. And you often hear those arguments especially when we're talking about basketball, old school, new school. But do you really think your old school players would have been mentally tough enough to kind of survive? Like you've got to be mentally strong, especially when you're talking about playing something or just having anything. You put yourself out there and people are able to critique it, whether it be good or bad. And some people do it with a malicious intent. Can you imagine after every practice, every game, it's some stranger, and not to say that it wasn't haters back in the day, But with the invention of social media, people have more access to you and more access to your family, your life than they would have decades ago. Can you imagine that pressure? And you think to yourself, you're just a young man, 24 years old. You're playing in the NFL. You're making money. You're living the dream. Um, but like, what is really going on? Like, you think you would get to that position in life. Do you think, oh man, life is good? I mean, but pieces uh is is a hard thing to get, and it's an even harder thing to kind of keep. Um, I'm sure reports will come out. What kind of stuff he was kind of really going through. I'm pretty sure those reports will kind of come out. But I mean, just think about it, to be, you know, that young, and this is the way you chose to handle it. And I'm, not going to dog on him, because suicide is, choosing suicide and really acting on it, man. It shows it's mental health is real, man. Mental health is real. But that is just cause you to think, and it'll kind of tie into, the pulpit portion of the show. But the Marshawn Needle, it's a very sad situation, for a young man to take his life that young, who had so much life ahead of him. Damn the NFL stuff, but just life in general. Had a lot of stuff ahead of him, and felt like this was the only way to get peace. Hopefully, prayers go to him and his family. Hope he's at peace. And I hope his family, finds peace and all of this. So yeah, I didn't want to, drown the show, but I did want to, have my own public remarks today. Listen, peace is a hard thing, man. It can be hard to attain and even harder to keep. And for some people, they struggle with that, and it causes them to make decisions like this young man made with his life. But moving on with the rest of the show, and I'm sorry I didn't want to be Debbie Downer, but I just kind of had it. You saw the thumbnail, you saw, I was going to talk about it. Going on with the sports betting, has been a development. I've been watching the sports betting stuff very, very closely. If you're a strong follower of the show, I've been, kind of talking about this. We kind of talked about this a couple of years ago with the NFL players getting suspended. Of course, you have the Chauncey Billups situation that happened a little over a month ago. And now to add on to it, you have two baseball players who were indicted for alleged sports betting in regards to, I want to make sure I'm doing this right. They were charged with fraud, conspiracy, and bribery stemming from an alleged scheme to rig individual pitches to gamblers, so they can win hundreds of thousands of dollars, according to the paperwork, the indictment. These two players, work with. They were kind of work with gamblers to throw pitches for balls, so prop bets could be placed on them. And according to what's being released so far, gamblers won $450,000 wagering on those individual pitches. And it's been alleged that those players were giving kickbacks for their participation. We talked about this last week. What's going on now? There goes Dayball. Yeah, I know it's a happy time in Giants land, but yeah, professional victims hate me. What's going on, man? But we talked about this last week. And I said it then, I'll say it again. This sports betting thing is going to trickle down, not just to the NBA, not just to the NFL. It's going to trickle down to baseball. People are placing prop bets on pitches. It calls into question everything that looks suspicious, or why would a player do that, or how what's really going on? How'd he miss that throw? How'd he drop that ball? Why is he shooting so bad tonight? What's up with the turn? It's going to cause people to question. Are these guys taking bets? Are this part of a prop bet? Is this part of a parlay? Why they're playing this poorly? tonight. What is really going on? I knew it was going to kind of lead to this. Baseball is trying to work with some of these online gambling sites in regards to kind of getting some stuff removed where pitch counts and stuff like that is not something that can be placed, have bets placed on it. But listen, it's only going to get worse. It only calls into question the integrity if it is true in regards to it's been going on since sports began. The most infamous ones come from baseball in regards to manager Pete Rose gets banned for life for betting on baseball games, and of course the Black Sox, 1918 Black Sox. But it's going to call into question when you see a guy having a bad shooting night. What's and people going to be instead of looking at the box score, you looking at like who profited from him having a bad night. It's going to call into question a lot of different stuff. I knew this was going to happen. I knew there was a little water. Jesus Christ, I'm talking too much. Refreshing. But I knew this was going to happen. And I expect more stuff like this to kind of come out. I expect the NFL to get a harder look at it, especially, I saw somebody like kind of circling the clip of Dylan Gabriel, some of his throws yesterday. Talking about, was it a prop bet on those throws? Like, that's just the natural progression of where we at with it. It's going to be messy. And you're going to start seeing the league and teams really kind of being brought in. Like, how much do you guys really know about this? Like, if this is going on and the players are, how much does the team really know about this? Are teams in the league willingly looking away at this kind of stuff? To think that, guys throwing a couple pitches for balls and, prop bets being placed on it, and somebody coming up with $450K off of those bets. It, like I said, calls into question everything. You miss a jump shot. Should I be looking at who made money off of that? Or you miss a key block on a fourth down, 4th and 1. The center doesn't get the tush push right. Should we be looking at him for? It's a messy, slippery slope in regards to that. But I don't know. I don't know what you do with it. I mean, it's too. We're talking about too much money involved, especially even with the legal online betting and parlays and all that. It's just we're talking about way too much money. How much oversight are is the government really going to have on that? You're just going to assume that every time somebody makes money on a bet that the player was involved. Using a private jet paid by you're skipping ahead in my show, man. You're skipping ahead of my show. Like, that's not even the latest with Cash Patel. Cash Patel has pretty much made it. The FBI is pretty much declaring war on anybody who's being critical of Israel online. It's like they finna start tapping folks on the shoulder with the anti-Israel talk. Oh yeah, that kind of came out today, but I think I've gotten through the sports material. I want to kind of get into what I like to call my favorite reality TV show, which we're all unwilling participants in it. Talking about the Trump administration. Of course, Snap is still. Let's start with Snap. Let's kind of get into that. You had a couple court rulings this week in regards to Snap. You had a lower court pretty much demanded the Trump administration fully fund November SNAP benefits immediately. Had the appeals court goes all the way up to the Supreme Court, who kind of put a pause on that order. In regards to people getting SNAP benefits. We'll see what the SNAP benefit kind of looks like. Let me out of this reality show. Listen, Philly, I say it every week. We're all unwilling participants in it because you can't make this shit up. I was having a conversation with somebody earlier in regards to this government shutdown. And we kind of banter around. It's not a for me. It's not a Republican Democrat thing. I don't really truly believe in those individual parties, because I think they all all one and the same any goddamn way. Um, but you got to kind of keep into the lens of that, like who you think is winning, because the shutdown is not over. It looked like it's headed that way, especially with the Democrats, Senate Democrats. Couple of them joining sides with the Republican Party, giving them the 64 that they needed to kind of move forward with possibly getting the legislation signed to get the CR signed off on. Who do you think is? I mean, it's who's winning the shutdown? I would say. Well, I know who's winning. The rich are winning. But I don't want to get too politically heavy with it. But the rich are winning. But short term, I would say short term. Short term, Democrats are winning, and not because I think them withholding out on their vote, especially in the Senate, grants them some kind of they're trying to get the extension on the subsidies for the ACA, which is the Affordable Care Act. Which if you ask somebody in MAGA, they say we don't like their Obamacare. We want the ACA, which is pretty much the same goddamn thing, but Obamacare sounds that's one of the political talking points. Look who don't slid back there. It's been a minute, Gator. How you doing? Now, which stream are you in? Because I got two streams apparently going. I got the vertical and the regular one going. The executive producer has finally decided to grace us with her presence. I be damn. I be damn. Hope all has been well with you, ma'am. I've been worried about you. I've been worried about you. I wanted to check in on my favorite Gator fan, Roll Tide. I know it's been a rough season for you guys down there, but it's good to see you back. I've been replaying. Shows have been mid. Oh, don't do that. Oh, what they just don't have your touch. They just don't have your touch. That challenging presence in that challenging presence in the chat room has sort of been missing from time to time. But good to see you back though. But back to what I was talking about, short term, I think Democrats win just for the simple fact people think that Republicans, because they quote unquote control all three branches of government, that they're responsible for it. And then it's a lot of blame to kind of go around for this. Losers, just kind of keep with the political party. Losers are definitely short term. Republicans long term, I don't know. I don't know, because you see a lot of Democratic dissension and anger coming out, especially over the 8 senators switching over their vote, voting yes on the CR that's going through Congress. It still hasn't been finalized and all of that kind of stuff. But the people. Here's the thing, Ms. Murphy. The people always lose. Whenever you have a Democrat versus Republican standoff or a fight over something, the people always lose. The people will continue to lose, because it's never about Democrat, Republican. It's never really really about racial lines. It's always rich versus poor. The rich continue to get richer, and the poor continue to get poor. But even with the new CR, even if they don't, vote on, it's not going to be any vote on extending the subsidies until the next month, and that's on a handshake. That's not even in writing. That's on a handshake deal. Healthcare premiums, like people are starting to see that now. Open enrollment is open. People are starting to see, the healthcare kind of go up. The people always lose. Poor people always lose. And I consider, if you're not part of the top 1%, you consider poor. Be honest with you. The tax breaks are not meant for you. All of that stuff is not meant for you. Now Trump has kind of come out through, it hasn't even actually came through and cut the check yet, but it's floating the idea that with all this tariff money that has allegedly been coming in, most Americans, and this is his words on his truth show. So most Americans will be getting another $2,000 check, and the rest of all this money that's been flowing in, all these billions and billions of dollars that has been flowing in from tariffs, allegedly, will be used to pay down the national debt. So he waves a couple, some $2,000 checks, especially in an economy where people are hurting. People, the federal workers have been working and not getting paid. Or who you calling for? I'm rich in spirit. Yeah, beautiful. I'm rich in spirit too, but your bank account is, some of us are doing well. And I don't mean to say that but the billionaires, the ones that can afford to cut checks for, hundreds of millions of dollars, like the Dallas Mavericks new owner who cut $100 million for Trump's campaign. We ain't got that kind of paper. We ain't got the kind of paper. But give us millionaires there's people, but that's the way the system is built. Ms. Murph, real bailouts go to the wealthy. They build out Wall. It wasn't for the me's and you's. We're not getting real tax breaks. It's never. And then Unc says Democrats will win long term, and here's why. Which one being exposed and we be pushed out. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I long term, and when I say long term, we're talking about more or less midterm. Midterm elections are next year. I think the Democrats have a chance to kind of take back control. But those wishy-washy Democrats, it's no different from the wishy-washy Republicans that voted for the big ugly bill, knowing it was going to screw over a lot of people, a lot of their own constituents, the farmers. They voted for a lot of this stuff. They were going to vote party lines. Nancy Pelosi is talking about she's retiring. Listen, she's already made her millions. She what I need to govern for? I made my millions. How much you need, beautiful? No, I'm good. I'm good, beautiful. I'm not as destitute. Well, in case they're listening, I'm broke as a joke. But anyway, some people have to lose a lot to wake up. That here's the problem with that though. Here's the problem with that. Some people are so trained. Some people are so programmed to believe that it's really like the Democrats and Republican lawmakers, that they're at odds with each other. They're really that programmed that if you're Republican, you're with me, and if you're a Democrat, you're with them, or vice versa. But no. If you look at what's that? I want to say Senator Lisa Murkowski from Alaska. Oh yeah, she came out after the fact that she voted yes for the big beautiful bill. It was like I didn't really I wish I wouldn't have voted for it. Listen, they wishy washy too. They wishy washy. I mean, but they are. I mean, there is very few politicians that get to that level in politics where they stand on business. When they stand on business, I mean, you look at the kind of money the APAC is rolled in, like this whole pushing, American Israel. That's our biggest ally. How? just ask yourself how. Like, what are we getting from them? Are they a significant trade partner? How? No, but you got to follow the money. Most of these folks is, they all are. I mean, they're all wishy washy. This is kind of go. There's very few that stand on business 100%. I mean, you look at this shutdown is another most recent example. Most recent example. It's about business. It's about money. It's just keeping keeping your eye off the ball. It's not watching where the money's going. Yeah. Final score. God damn it. If I had a moderator, you'd be going out of here giving me that news. But congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles for picking up the dub. And they bring back memories. If you know, you know. But yes, it's all a game. This shutdown, America loses. American citizen, you lose. You always lose. Because the system is not designed for you. So y'all know. Shout out to the Eagles for picking up the dub. Oh, the quotables. But the system is designed for you to lose. It's designed for you. It's designed for you to lose. And they know that most of their constituents, the people they're supposed to be serving, most of them are dumb. Most of them are dumb. They'll have you to believe these Republicans are bad. They'll have you believe these Democrats is left wing nut jobs. Listen, they all buddies. They all friends. Listen, when that can't listen, it is a show. It is a show. You really think that Chuck Schumer and Mike Johnson ain't never sat down for a cup of coffee? You think their loyalty for party lines gonna go? No, we in this together. Give you a heads up on something that's coming down the pipe, man. Are you serious? But that's part of the game. Tito man have been back in office with. Listen, he's in the business of getting money, and this is I got 4 years to do the hookup. It's been reported that Giuliani and his crew, the election deniers, who was stone cold and all of that corrupt shit, then they received a pardon. It's reported the same Maxwell, Epstein's co-conspirator, is getting a royal treatment up in federal prison, getting ready to ask for her sentence to be commuted. Excuse me. It's all a game. It's all a game. You watch where the money's at. Watch where the money is at. But the American people, we lose every time. Well, this system is designed for us to lose. It's not designed for us to win. Home ownership. They're floating a 50-year mortgage plan. That's Trump's kind of like new thing to make quote unquote housing more affordable. How about restricting corporations from buying up homes? 60% of the homes, single family homes in America, are owned by large corporations. It is all a money grab. Everything is a money grab with these folks. That's why I don't get overly emotionally upset at a Mike Johnson or Marjorie Taylor Greene. You're no different from a Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi. You guys are all the same. You're in the business of making money and making money for your friends, your real constituents, the ones that line your pockets. You don't give a damn about the campaign donations of Miss Murph or no. Well, what we give you, that's what you spend on pens and staples. That's not going to move the needle for you. I mean, you look at the New York mayor race. You had 22 billionaires get together and in total donate $22 million to for Cuomo against Odami in that race. This is about money. Why would we put that kind of money into a losing campaign? Because we want him to win. Because guess what? The tax breaks that we're used to, the money we're used to getting back, and all of that kind of stuff, that continues under him. O'Donnell, he's a wild card. We don't know about him yet. Americans will always lose. So who's winning the shutdown? Rich. Who's losing? Poor. Hopefully, they open the stuff back up because airline travel is being affected out of the safety, but that's a trickle down effect. Yeah, we canceling flights, but you cancel flights to smaller regional airports, which affects the employees there, because what's the point of having all these people come in to work and we're running on 40% capacity? Do you think there will be a surprise? Surprising what? No. It's no surprise. Listen, even if Trump gets say these tariff checks, you're gonna give people, let's say, give people $2,000, which for the most part, not to say everybody is in dire need, but $2,000 can help. And they'll go right back to singing the praise. This is a president for us. Nah, I don't see that. I don't see that happening. I don't. It's you have to spend so much time educating people that you understand. You get fucked over by these folks. The system is designed for you to get fucked over. It's not, listen, and it's not just on the national level. It's just designed like that on your local level. It's designed like that on your local level. Politics is the business of getting paid. Give me access to money, to resources that I couldn't normally get on my own. Puts me in contact with people that I wouldn't normally rub shoulders with. I mean, think about, let's say on a local level, with the rise of data centers being built in cities. What if I'm the mayor of a city that and these companies, these Amazon, these tech companies want to come in and build data centers, and they need me to kind of push stuff through. Hey man, I need a lovely campaign donation. Yeah, that $2,000 is a dangling carrot, but with the economy being what it is, Miss Murph, people are going to take it, and you're going to have some to understand what it really is, and you're going to have some, oh man, he's such a generous president. I mean, they really thought Trump cut the checks last time just because he wanted to put his name on them. And that was a decision made by Congress, but he puts his name on. Listen, we would spend so much time trying to educate people on what the real game is. You wonder why the housing market is what it is. 60% of the single family homes are owned by private corporations. BlackRock being one of the largest, if not the largest. And how that hustle game is, come on, man. You would waste, a lot of these folks, you be wasting your time. You understand what I'm saying? You be wasted. It's one thing to be like, want to teach a willing student, but some of these folks, listen, so ingrained is this white is right, black is wrong. I don't care. No. I don't know if I don't think I talked about the story over here. Like the story, I think I talked about on the other show where they had women of the KKK. I forgot what city it was passing out, business cards at a Halloween parade a couple weeks ago. No. No. You spend too much time educating these folks. No. The 15-year car loan, the 50-year mortgage. Look, Trump hates poor and working class people. Lord have mercy. Look, hate ain't the word. You don't register. I just need one thing from you. And that's what I'm talking about. You talking about me, you, and everybody else that's not part of the top 1%. I need one thing from you. I just need a vote for my candidate. I don't care about you. I don't care about your problems. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I'm here to make money for first of all for me, and the politicians are here to make money for themselves first, and their real constituents are the ones that donate the big dollars. You know, do you realize I want to say we're still sending $3.5 billion to Israel for what? For what? I mean, the man is literally fighting a court order to release SNAP benefits. Let that sink in. To release SNAP benefits, taxpayer money that you paid into something. Not that was donated. No, something you've already paid into, a reserve you've already paid into. He's fighting a court order to release that. They don't give a damn. Listen, they don't give a damn. They got the money earmarked for something else. I mean, that's another thing that generational America, make America great again. No, we know it's a under racial undertone when they say that. We know it is, but they understand. Like most people are dumb. We've programmed them so well, because when you think when a person wears the MAGA hat and pushes the MAGA narrative, it's anti-black, anti-immigrant, it's without actually having to come out and say, because we've ingrained it into you. You've been programmed. I wouldn't even listen. So no, that won't happen. You can't even get people on code to, if it was, let's say that with the DEI situation, Target should have been devastated when they got rid of the DEI program. But no, but some of us still shop at Target. Man, listen, you spend your money where you want to spend your money. You spend your money where you. I'm not one of them. Golf. I am not a Umar. I am not telling you how to spend it. But if it was about getting some real power, they respect the dollar. You take the dollar away from that, and then you'll get some modicum of respect. They respect money. I don't respect your vote. Respect money. I just need your vote to facilitate certain shit. We respect money. You want access? You want to get that private dinner? You break me off something. You want to get pardoned, Chrisley family? Break me off something. You want somebody to get a pardon? That break me off. Contribute to my ballroom. Break me off something. No, don't respect. No, don't respect. I just need your vote to make it look official. To make it look like we're governing it. No, it's all a money grab. That's why these companies pay lobbyists big time money to be up on the hill, facilitating certain shit for their businesses. Yeah, you need a lobbyist for. Who you represent? You ain't representing the people. That's what the politicians supposed to be. But anyway, I could do this. I could do this all night. But this is favorite reality show. It's the most hurtful for a lot of people. I mean, but you never know what's next, what's coming down the pipe, who's next up, what's the next storyline. This administration has been full throttle, all different directions that you can take it. I mean, just last week we were talking about him possibly military action against Nigeria. Now we're in the news cycle changes so much. We were going backwards when the stories racial profile and veiled things to people, and they made the news. Owners came out and apologized, and people went right back. Listen, I mean, but they play on and not just this black people. But I was just going to keep it to black people. They play on black people's nature to forgive and kind of move on. Like they're used to us, and even with let's say the Rodney King shit. Can we all just get? I just got my ass whooped. Hell no, we can't get along because they want to think about getting along when they was whooping my ass. But they you know what? I don't even want to. Woo! Nah, Slatter, this what's going on? No, it's this is part of StreamYard's new thing. You can do both at the same time. So I don't know I can't really tell who's in the vertical, but I got both going at the same time. It's confusing because you can't see who's in both chats, but yeah, that's what we got going. But yeah, I mean, and you think, I mean, just look at the snap thing again. Like you look at the amount of people who was in food bank lines and all of that kind of stuff, and it might be some holy rollers that's listening to this, but I wonder why a lot of those people wasn't going to the storehouse for food and sustenance. Why they couldn't go to the storehouse and get that? I mean, listen, you don't think the church is a part of the business structure? You a settlement? They don't have a 501c3 for nothing. That's not a tax-free entity for nothing. We expect you to play ball as best you can. But folks is out here starving and going hungry and being turned around at food banks because they ran out of food. Some of these churches, and I'm not gonna say all because I know some that was doing some work, but some of these churches was offering you just God's gonna make a way for you. Jesus is gonna be all right, but I expect you to see you in church on Sunday with your tithes. I bet you that collection plate went around every single Sunday since the shutdown started. Hello, somebody. I'm sorry. I'm beautiful. Am I getting ahead of myself? I mean, but listen, it is that simple. You don't fuck with me, I don't fuck with you. I agree with that sentiment. I mean, this is the nation has been programmed. People are programmed. You're programmed to believe that your only choice if you're not Democrat is Republican. You've been programmed like that, and the system has been designed to keep it like that. I mean, think about it. How many lawmakers in Congress have always run as independents. No, they started as a Democrat, they started as a Republican, and they kind of run, once they got their spot secure with their name brand, Bernie Sanders, Rand Paul, where you're like a brand name, you can run under quote unquote independent label. And with all that means, you establish yourself enough to where, Republican donors don't feel bad giving you money, and quote unquote Democratic donors don't feel bad for giving you money either. Because you're quote unquote independent. Oh man, it's a hustle, it's a trick bag. So who's winning? The rich. Who's going to lose every single time? The poor. That's me, you, and everybody else below the 1%. I mean, hell, look at open enrollment is open. Look at the changes in your healthcare premiums now. And that's for those who are not on ACA, or as they like to call it, Obamacare. It's a clever name for the ACA. You actually got some people thinking that's two goddamn different things. Like, really, you really, you really, people. Some motherfuckers are so dumb. They really think it's two different things. I mean, let's look at the programming with Snap for decades. They painted a picture of people on Snap's quote unquote welfare queen was a black woman with multiple kids. And even in the ones that was getting SNAP and been getting benefits, because the system wasn't designed for black people in the first place. We got included later. The system was designed for poor white folks. But you look back at the Reagan years, the propaganda being put out. The welfare queen is the one taking advantage and the fraud and all of that kind of shit. What? It's all a game. It's all a game. And the sooner you realize what it is, the better you can navigate around it. It's been decades having the public believe that if you was on Snaps, you was the welfare queen, you was the black hood rat chick with multiple baby daddies with multiple kids. All the while, majority of people on Snap is poor white people. And black folks wasn't always welcome on the SNAP program. Acting like they've always been concerned. Let's see, Wick started from the Black Panthers. That's a story for another day. I'm getting too apolitical up here. Might have Cash Patel come see. I mean, you look at us. Let's double back what I was talking about. Cash Patel. I mean, here's a guy flying around on the private jets to do stuff with his girlfriend. Is now come out and pretty much said, "Hey, if you talk bad about Israel, FBI is going to be looking into you, tap you on the shoulder. If you talk bad about my girlfriend, who's such a great American." This is what he said. This is the director of the FBI. After getting caught, schmoozing on taxpayers' dollars, your money, not his private jet, but your money pays for that jet, pays for the fuel. And he had the nerve to admonish you for saying something about, how dare you? Because she's such a great, your girlfriend who nobody has ever fucking heard of before you. Is such a great American, such a pillar of the community. How dare you? Listen, come on, man. I mean, it's a hustle. It's a hustle. I mean, you lost like a little side bet to me. I told you was gonna take that plane. These folks is greedy, and the higher up they go, the more they're able to take. The more they're able. Listen, a lot of them are just cool getting to the House of Representatives and the Senate. You know why they cool just getting that high? Well, a lot of them don't have aspirations to be president. No. They don't want that level of scrutiny. It makes it easier for me to stockpile my money. The insider trade makes it a whole lot easier if I'm able to navigate. You're worried about X amount of people in the House of Representatives. You're worried about X amount of congressmen, congresswomen in the Senate. It makes it easier for me to maneuver and make this money with the insider trading to build my own financial empire. I don't want to be like Trump. Every move I make is on, CNN. No, let me be the lowly. If I tune the Ogun title, who the hell is? Okay, well, hold on. I ain't seen this name in a minute. This when I'm cooking. Hold on. Give me a sec, y'all. For the haters. Hello?
Yo, what's up?
God damn, what's going on, Spot?
Nothing much. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. What brings you to the House of Dendera or whatever?
What? Okay. So So what's up with I guess what is it? Food stamps is back for those who were biting their fingernails.
Yeah, it's we're close to getting a deal done to where the government quote unquote opens back up and people are able to get back on their SNAP benefits. Um which is kind of funny because like some states have already kind of dipped into their own excess of money and help pay for some people's benefits for this past month. But yeah, that's where we're headed. Yes, it's
But what was your thoughts
Democrat.
on people talking about doing like strong arm robberies for some groceries?
I mean, it's talk, um, but it's a talk you really got to take serious in the simple fact that when the chips are down, and I got to eat. You know, some people would take that route. I mean, and they look at that as like the only alternative. Like I've seen video of people that had food delivered from Instacart, and you had porch pirates riding around, like following the Kroger delivery truck and robbing people after they dropped the food off. That if they didn't come to the door, they was going on their porch and taking the shit.
Wow.
Like it's I don't condone it. Um, and you're a dumbass if you're broadcasting that you're going to do it, but it don't, like I said, it don't shock me. Like when you got to eat, if I got to go in the corner store, if I got to go in the corner store and steal me some fucking honey buns, I'm gonna take me some honey buns if that's the only alternative I got. Like I said, I don't condone it, but I get it. Yeah, I mean,
I don't get
survival.
it.
I mean, listen, I don't agree with it. Um, there's plenty of other ways to do it, but for some people, their survival, instincts is that basic. Like, oh, I'll give me another job, or no, I'm just gonna steal from you.
Hmm.
I mean,
I
this
think there's another word for that uh, lack of survival instinct. It's called laziness.
with that
I
too.
think that's the issue that no one wants to talk about. Like, we got a lot of lazy motherfuckers who demand the government take care of their own shitty decision making skills. And whose fault is it that you depend on the government to feed you? Is it the government or you as an adult, so called adult? I think it's your fault, not the government. So, and then I don't know why they drag this shit for so long if they're just gonna cave anyway. Like, I don't know what the
Well,
point is.
the point was, in the grand scheme of things, we're going to hold out, and it was a lot of political theater with holding out. Um, we got to show that we're strong. We're willing to stand up to Trump. That was part of it. We got to look like we're just not going to roll over and be a lame duck party going into the midst. We have to kind of show some kind of solidarity, some kind of strength. It's a lot of political theater with it. And you're hoping that people care so much about their health care going up that they'll side with you, but at the same time people want to eat, people want to get back to work. Like, is it, I mean, it's like even with the government, they say government workers are dependent on the government to pay them their check. Like, how many air traffic controllers are being told that you're working 6 days a week, 12 hour days, and you ain't getting shit, you going home with nothing. And then, God forbid, here you had a president of the United States come out today and pretty much admonish those same air traffic controllers for not coming to work and or calling out from work. How dare you not work for free? It's just the president of the United States saying so. It's a lot of political theater, but at the end of the day, the rich win, the poor get shitted on. The
Yeah,
99%.
those are the people that I actually feel kind of bad for. The people that actually were working and
Yeah.
they can't work anymore because their employment is political football that's being thrown around. Those are the people that I feel kind of bad for, not people that are professional leeches who
I
need
mean, I
the
agree with
government
that.
to feed them every day. Like, nah, y'all could go. Never mind. Let me not even go there.
I mean, but like Aunt brings up a good point. Yeah, companies are the biggest welfare kings. Like, listen, you follow the money. And like I said, this is all it's some political theater. Um, Democrats was, we got to put on a strong showing. Because midterms are coming up, and we don't want to look like, hey, we want to. Okay, well, I guess he'll be back. But we want to build a case that, hey, when midterms come around, if you put us back in power, we can truly fight against Trump and his regime and his administration. It's political. It's a lot of games with that. They lost the jobs to AI. Listen, that is a completely separate conversation. Like, minimum wage is been 7.25 for a lot of places for a lot of years. Cost of living is going up, but your wages haven't gone up. Base wages haven't gone up. Like, some states and some cities have taken steps to raise the minimum wage over the years, but no. If we can get by with paying you, um, $15 an hour, and you're willing to accept it, and make do whatever, we're going to continue to do it. Meanwhile, we're going to be looking for kind of ways for we can save money on our end, tax breaks, all that other kind of stuff as a company. Hey, what's up, twin? Been a minute. Yeah, I caught y'all on. I guess I might meet Monday. I might move the show to Monday. Now that my executive producer has come out of hiding, maybe I get with her and see if it's cool for me to move my show to Monday. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, maybe Monday. Okay, so key Amazon. Yep. Yeah, cost of living is going up, but your wages haven't matched the escalation of that. It's all politics at the end of the day. This is it's about money, and those who have it and those who don't. And unfortunately, the bottom 99% are the ones that don't. And if we was educated enough to understand what the game is, we could really get some change. But most people are happy being this what it is, just what it is. All right, but let me cut it because I'm right about 2 hours in, and I don't still do them long ass shows. Yeah, let your bill go. Listen, it's hard out here for a pimp. I mean, you gotta have in this day and age, man, you gotta have multiple hustles kind of going on, multiple ways to multiple streams of income, multiple ways of getting to it. You hear the argument, my daddy used to support us on blah blah. Well, them days is done, honey. Now if you a family, a 2-parent household is, kind of the going rate for getting stuff done. Okay, let me get back here. Okay, cool. I mean, life has changed, man. You got to adjust with the times and what that is. But anyway, let me get my ass. I do owe beautiful a pulpit because I kind of shorted her last week. Thanks for those who tuned into both streams. I'll have to check out a replay, see how this got. It looks cool when you're looking at it on the laptop because I can see the vertical, and you can make you can kind of look at it a lot closer. But it's dope. It's a dope little feature. It's probably the best thing StreamYard has done in a minute. Hold on. Okay, we back. All right, we back. Hey, 7. I'm sorry. Queen 7, how you doing? I saw an interesting live. I don't know what you're talking about, brother. Your eyes are deceiving you, brother. Take food as far as what we speak about them is more than the people who work 2 jobs and still listen. Man, you got for some people who've been working for a very long time. You know, you got some people out here they would be classified the working poor. You know, the people that are actively working, you know, 1 to 2 jobs. You got the working poor out here. You know, working two jobs. You know, and just trying to make it, and can't get a tax break, can't get a wage increase. Cost of living goes up. You know, the answer is, you know, find you another you know, source of income. Not we're gonna, you know, raise your wages to the level of you know, with the inflation. So I mean, listen, you and I I don't like that skinny. I just saw your comment. Oh, I don't like that skinny vertical shit. I like my shit big. Well, you know, we all we do it, you know, natural over here. No BBL needed. Um, but you know, you and I know soldiers have, like, especially those stationed in Hawaii, have been on SNAP for decades. Even soldiers, even before this government shutdown, you know, you got soldiers that are on SNAP. You got soldiers that are on SNAP and get benefits. I'm just saying. I don't think we talk about this. Listen, here's the thing. It's conversations like that are happening. But everybody can't be involved in them conversations. Some people are not ready to have that conversation. Some people are not ready to you know, accept it. You know, it's been a lot of heavy-handed programming for a long time. And they're kind of used to the status quo. They're used to the status quo. Let me get my pool pick, because I do owe Beautiful that. I think I got a bit of a word. I think I do. I hope so. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight on a Monday. You know, you could be anywhere else in the world. But you hear me. She told me I have to do this. Like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And if they do talk about it, they don't say it out loud on social media. Well, like I said, it's conversation. You can't include. And this is what I found before I get into the pulpit portion of the show. This is what I found. On some conversations you can't have with everybody for some reason. They not there mentally. Well, Keeper, she might be on the. I can see everybody, but she might be on the vertical. But it's just 2 like simultaneous streams going, one vertical, one regular. So if you can't see her, trust me, she's here. I don't know which chat room she's in, but she's okay. I guess she's switched over. But she's here, Queen Divine. But back to what I said, like, some people, you know, you can't have no conversations with. Some people, you know, even not just with the politics. Some grown folks conversations you can't have with everybody. Because, you know, it turns into you know, an argument. You raising your voice. You think louder is better, or as you know, in some places they say that's cooking, right? You can't listen. Some conversations with some folks you can't have. You know, some folks you gotta let them, you know, eat shit and stay in the dark. You gotta let them eat them mushrooms and stay in the dark. Yeah, that's where they feel comfortable. Because when you bring it to the light that you don't know what you think you know, or you're not as knowledgeable as you think you are, some folks getting their feces. Some people get into their fifi. So like, nah, you can't, you can't have that kind of dialogue on a consistent basis with some people. You think I know the sky to be blue, but you think it's purple. Okay, fine. You think it's purple. Who am I to argue with what you see through your lenses, your eyes? Why waste my energy trying to convince you that what you're seeing is wrong? How you interpreting things is wrong. But you know what? Mm. Beautiful almost had a petty moment. I blame Keeper for that. Keeper is my evil twin. Keeper's my evil twin. Who almost had a petty moment. I've been fighting the dark side for a minute. But anyway, let's kind of lighten the mood up. Like listen, 2 hours in, man. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. For those of you not here, I know beautiful. I know we'll do it tomorrow. For those of you that know, I'll be doing the show in on the other in the other other spot tomorrow. We're gonna have a little bit more fun over there. It won't be as heavy handed as it was. We're gonna have a good time over there, man. I got some interesting stuff, some good conversation pieces. So we're gonna have some fun over there tomorrow. And in regards to what brother said, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you saw or what you think you saw. Okay, hold on. I guess he got his shit together. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you were traveling earlier. What's?
Yeah, my audio was bad. Yeah, I had to switch over. So
Yeah.
what's up with this? What's your thought? Have you talked about that socialist who won the mayorship?
Oh, Maldami.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a breath of fresh air. I don't know what he's really going to do now that he's in office.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know, but occasionally, you see that in politics where the strong youthful outsider comes in and offers an alternative from the norm. And Cuomo, for all his flaws, is looked at as the norm.
But what also happens after that person who claims they're bucking the system finally gets in?
Well, the norm
They
normally
always
happens.
go back into the system.
The norm normally happens.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know how much how his initiatives are going to really get off the ground, because he says some like really outlandish stuff. Like, wow, you really think you can get that off? We're going to see. We're going to see. Beautiful says nothing. He's just like the rest. Yeah, he was just better than Cuomo. Like, Cuomo had too many flaws. And he was pretty much like the old guard. I mean, but we're gonna. I give him a year, and we'll kind of look back. Do I think it's going to be revolutionary for New York? No, because at the end of the day, business is still got to be business. He'll do a couple things that'll please his quote unquote base. But for the most part, business still got to be handled the right way. So if that means he's got to scratch some backs, the same way Cuomo was going to have to scratch some backs, he's going to have to get that done if you want to stay in office.
Shout out to the back scratchers.
You're gonna have to. You got to play. You move up to that level. And like I said, we're talking about the mayor of New York, so you that position holds a lot more weight than being the mayor of Dallas, Texas, or the mayor of St. Louis, Missouri. This New York is looked at like, you're on the level of like looked at as the mayor of Los Angeles. Like, you're on that level where people look at you a little different than the average mayor, because you're talking about such a large population base that you're dealing with. So I'm curious to see what he can actually kind of get done, because running on ideas is cool, and it gets the youth out. He had a very good turnout as far as young voters. But how much of this we're going to break away from the system and change the system? How much are you really going to get accomplished? Because at the end of the day, business is business.
And it's a wise man once said, "It's politics as usual."
Yep. We'll see. I think if he can deliver on a couple campaign promises, or at least try to get him initiated, at least he'll be okay.
Like what was his campaign about? What was his
like
key
one of his
target
things, like getting the government involved in running stores, and more government involvement in some stuff. I don't think he's going to be able to get that off, but with politics, when you're speaking to the base, if I can give you the appearance that I'm trying, and it's the city council pushing back on me, this is what you voted for. You voted for me. If you can sell them that, you got a good chance of staying. It's just like if, let's say, Trump was going against a Democrat-led Congress. You can sell your constituents on, I'm trying to get this done for you, but the Democrats are fighting me tooth and nail to get this done. And you got some, most people have been programmed, or they're pushing back because he's Republican, he's Democrat. Like you can sell the idiots on on that hustle, and they'll buy it, because there's the Democrats are leading Congress, and they're not saying yes to everything that he wants to get done. So he has, it validates his argument. It's all it's a game, man. But just follow the money. You want to know what's going on in politics? Follow the money. Follow the money.
And follow the think tanks.
Well, the
and also follow the small hats. You know who I'm talking about when I say small hats, right?
Yeah. Don't worry.
They always have their hands and their pointy noses up in everybody's business.
Well, well, I mean, if it can continue to get over $3 billion a month being sent to to their country, then why not? I'm pretty sure I'll be getting a visit by somebody in the near future for this kind of commentary. This may have to be deleted. I'm just messing around.
Just saying. I just think it's curious that a certain group of people, they hate to be blamed or assumed to control everything, but anytime there's some issues, who's involved?
They hate negativity.
Just saying.
They hate when you But here's another thing I've noticed with that crew. When you start tying them in money, they really don't like that narrative.
But anytime there's big money talk going on, who's in there?
Exactly. But they don't like, but they don't want it to be public. Come on now. They don't want it to be public. They like being there with the money, and like the stuff with APEC kind of just open some people's eyes to how much they really invested in, like, why are you this organization who is obviously backed by that community, why are you investing so much money into legislators on both sides? Let's keep it a buck, because they don't play favorites. It's no Republican or Democrat for them. What can you get done for me, and on your end? Because it may not be on the national level, but on the state level, I need you, because you have some influence to get some stuff done in your state. Like, listen, it's follow the money. You really think that these big pharmaceutical companies will ever go along with universal health care? Hell no. Too much money to be made off of keeping it as is. Listen, they don't like the ACA because it kind of puts limits and caps on what they can really offer poor people as far as healthcare, as far as premiums and all that. They don't like that. We want it to be wide open. We want, quote unquote, the free market. So we can charge you whatever the hell you want because you're going to pay. You're going to find a way to pay, or if you don't, you'll be without. Meanwhile, while we get tax breaks and all of that kind of other stuff, like
Speaking of APEC, did you see that press conference or whatever with Mayweather, and he was over there
I talked about it last week. Yeah,
tapping into those small hats?
yeah, had him dressed up in a full boxing robe. You're there to You're there to receive a quote unquote award from this at this conference and from these organizations. You're there to receive, and you was their champion of the year, and they had your goofy ass dressed up in the goddamn boxing robe, looking like a complete dummy. I mean, listen, the whole it's so many clips that came out of that. Matter of fact, I think I got one I haven't played. Let me see if I still have it. I got one that I haven't played. I mean, it's so many clips that come out of that. Like this, the rhetoric alone. Let's see if they might have they've been working heavy, getting stuff taken down off the internet. Oh no. Here's like I got a short 2-minute clip. I want you to this is the kind of stuff that they talk about when they think people are really not paying attention. Give me a second. Y'all got to see this clip. I meant to play it last week. I know the fraud asked me for this, and I had it. I couldn't find it. But check out this real quick spot.
I said, I want them to turn that place into a parking lot. I gotta preface it because somebody gonna clip people per.
Is it buffering? Did it freeze?
To people that I love, people died. You decide that if you ever think about trying something like this, your country will cease to exist. Boy, if I was the prime minister, it's 48 hours. Give me 48 hours. And so it enraged me.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
We can hear you now, but that clip is not playing right. I think his StreamYard is acting weird.
Yeah, StreamYard don't like me. Yeah, they may have caught on, and I'm live talking.
StreamYard said they're not going to tolerate that small hat slander tonight.
Oh yeah, beautiful. Listen, they don't want me to listen. Go look it up. It's Brandon. What's his name? Brandon Tatum. Speaks on Gaza. Go look up that clip online. The clip was buffering and freeze. Okay, cool. Keep it. You can go check it out. This is StreamYard. Jesus.
Oh yeah, I have a quick question before I end this segment of demonic Louseville talk. You said you was gonna have a show that's a little lighter in the topics. What do you mean by that?
Well, I have another little space I'm cultivating. This it's a little bit lighter. It's not really the heavy-handed shit. It's more like it's kind of like not a sector show to a degree at times. We talk about video games and anime shit like that. You interested?
Nickel bag is sold in the park. I want in.
Hold on. Let me
You'll put it in the private chat.
Yeah, because they're gonna be like, what the hell? Yeah, but those, Yeah, but that's the spot. We normally over there on Tuesdays.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. We about good 8-9 shows deep. Like it's a little bit lighter, man. It's not as heavy handed with the topics like I do on this show. So remember, we do talk about some serious stuff from time to time. It's like mostly this, relaxing shit. Shit you can't talk around with other people.
Yeah,
They-
yeah. So on that note, I'm gonna tap one out, bro. Another great show. Keep on pushing. You just keep doing your thing, pretty much.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. You'll see me in a cloud or two.
Oh yeah. I forgot something.
Oh, here we go. Go ahead.
How about them? Did they lose again? I think they lost.
We didn't even play this week.
Oh damn! They lost the bye week too. Damn.
We didn't play this week, so you can't even say that.
Okay, how about that bye week?
All right, I knew it was coming.
Peace out.
Peace out. Keep. We'll facilitate that for you. Keep. Yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah, I can discuss. Hell, they listen to this shit anyway. It's a little bit lighter tone. It's more relaxed. It's not listen, the show's all over the goddamn place, to be honest with you. It's yeah. It's all over the place at times, but it is what it is. Okay, so let me get into the pulpit portion of the show. We're gonna close on out. Like I said, thank y'all for taking the time. If you're in the vertical, if you're in the regular, it's whatever, man. Appreciate it as always. I saw Triggs drop up in here. What happened to Triggs? Steve Gibbs, beautiful. I was gonna leave him alone. But they oh shit. Oh, they choked again. Yeah, they choked again, beautiful. They choked. I know my defense is bad, but they choke a lot. Let's get into the pulpit portion. It may be let's go. Let's go.
The devil is a liar. Yes, he is.
I learned something new. So my video won't play, but on the vertical. Interesting. Interesting. But anyway, let's close out tonight's show, pulpit portion of the show. Just where I try to get, leave y'all with some words of encouragement as you go through your day. I kind of want to, double back just a little bit to the Marshawn Neely situation. For those who kind of came in late, and who are not aware, Marshawn Neely, Dallas Cowboy player, committed suicide last week. And I'm reminded this time of the year, it gets tough for a lot of people. Reach out and if you're feeling down, reach out to somebody, talk to somebody. It's resources out there, it's hotlines out there, for you to kind of tap. Like I said, the holidays, it can be a bad time for a lot of people. This is typically the time of year where you start remembering loved ones that you lost and that kind of stuff. And of course, with what's going on in the world, the economy being what it is, this is the kind of time folks get kind of stressed out trying to provide Thanksgiving, trying to provide Christmas for the kids and the family and that kind of stuff. So reach out. If you find yourself in that situation, you find yourself feeling a little down, I'm just gonna talk to my YouTube people. Seek therapy if you need it, folks. Yeah, you're right. Dial 988. This is it's resources out there. And if you don't feel comfortable calling those resources, you just want somebody to just listen. I'm no therapist, but I like to think I have a decent listening ear. I allocate you about 30 minutes. I ain't gonna lie to you. You ain't gonna be talking to me all goddamn day. I mean, but if you reach out, this is a community that we, and not just me, have kind of cultivated over here. So if you don't feel comfortable calling complete strangers, you want to hear the sound of my voice, whatever, just reach out. I'm available most times, and I try to give words of encouragement and that kind of stuff. But anyway, to not 30 minutes. They're beautiful. Listen, listen. And those that know. I'm if you got my email, I'm available. For whatever ideas or whatnot. Just word of encouragement. It ain't just for the lights in the camera. It's not that. But listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. You are not going to be talking my ear off for hours at a time. But if I got the time, I'll be 30 minutes. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Yeah, this don't take that too literal, too serious. But I'm available. But anyway, I'll definitely make myself. Yeah, brother. Like, yeah, we have a community here, people that is willing to be a listening ear, especially during this time of year. And all that kind of stuff. But yeah, tonight's pulpit, it resonates on a lot of different levels. And it's not overly complicated, but if you kind of piece through it, it's deep. And it goes, there are people assigned to bless you and people assigned to block you. Use your discernment, because sometimes both of them are usually close to you. Now, we've talked about this a time or two, maybe a pulpit here or there. We talk about, be mindful of the company you keep, and be mindful of the company your company keeps. And you gotta understand, there are people that are assigned to you that God will place into your life as a blessing. Not to say that these people are going to give you money. They're not going to maybe not give you riches. It may be somebody that's there. God will assign someone to you that from time will give a word of encouragement. Will help give you a piece of advice when you need it, or correct you when you're wrong. But then people are assigned to you to block you. Some people will that stay in your life and want your life to stay to the way that it is when they got there, because we've talked about this ad nauseum with the pulpit portion of the show. Some people don't want you to change, and some people don't like how change looks on you. Some people come into your life when you're down, when you're at your lowest, and that's where they like seeing you, because for them it gives them a certain level of satisfaction that they are above you. You got some people that are assigned to you to block you. You have to use your discernment, because, like I said, sometimes some of those people are close to you. The hater wears the face of a friend very well. Come on, somebody, hold on. I might have hit a nerve with that one. A hater wears the face of a friend very, very well. Talk about it, twin. Well, it's not just that, Keith. You got to be mindful of the company your company keep. Let me go back to this block you part, because, like I said, some people like to, when they meet you, they want you to stay the same way you were when they met you. But if you still the same person that I met, meaning you still in the same situation, you still having the same problems, you still having the same character flaws that you had when I met you, and you have not gotten any better. Um, some people want that to be their reality for you. I'm one of those that I like to speak speak life as much as I can. And listen, I don't claim to be perfect. I don't claim to be overly righteous, but and I don't have to um name drop and all of that kind of stuff. But those that know, I try to be as encouraging because I don't want to see you the same. I want to see you better than you were yesterday. I want to see you better than you were a month ago, better than you were a year ago, and whatever that is you're doing. Because listen, some people want you, they want you to grow, but they don't like how the growth look on you. Like I said, even if you get to the point where you outgrow me, that is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. I'm intrigued. I'm happy for whatever attire you decide to wear. Seeing that it's metaphorical, not your actual clothes, but whatever attire, how you decide to design yourself, because nobody's built like you. I'm not here to offer you any attire. I'm not here to dress you up and place you in clothing and shoes that you are not comfortable in, or shoes and clothes that don't fit. If you were a 34 slim, what I look like coming at you with some size 46 jeans. If you are a clean cut sister, what I look like coming to you, I want you to dress up in Daisy Dukes. I want you to, be comfortable with how you design yourself, because I'm that's part of knowing how loving and how growth looks good on you, how that growth looks on you. Like some people don't listen. Some people are assigned to bless you, and some people are assigned to block you. People, listen, come on. And there is the crazy thing, sometimes both of those people are usually close to you. You'll have someone that's in your ear that's encouraging you to go on that trip. Take that. You show an interest in that. Go for it. I'm whatever that looks like for you. Go for it. But then you got some that are there to block you. Like, nah, I don't know if that's the right move for you. I think you good where you at. Then the people you need to be concerned with, the ones that are assigned to block you. Some people, like I said, some people are here to bless you. Some people are here to block you. Beautiful. I think I struck a couple nerves. Like I said, moral is, like I said, the hater wears the face of a friend very well. Be mindful. Your spirit of the discernment should be on high alert at all times. Understand when something is for you and when something ain't for you. Sometimes you gotta let go. You gotta let go to grow. Sometimes your spirit and your energy becomes too big for the high school stage. Your personality and where you acting like deserves to be observed in stadiums. Now somebody's gonna be listening to this on the replay thinking, oh damn, he's talking about crowd size. Like, nah, I can't even dumb that one down for you. Some people, listen, are comfortable, being the man on the high school football team. Some people want more than that. I want to be in the Hall of Fame. My aspirations are bigger than the stage that I was on. Hmm. Am I a little too deep with it tonight? Maybe I am. Maybe I need to go underground with this message. Oh, brother, be careful. Listen, beautiful. No, bro, this is beautiful. You say, brother, be careful. I say, brother, be blessed. You see, when you understand that you blessed and highly favored, see, being blessed and highly favored it's not a material thing. When you're blessed and highly favored in the spirit and in your mind and your soul, you move different, you feel different, you act different. You dropping too much for him. I might have to pull back on this one, beautiful. I might, but I owed you from last week. I owed you from last week, so I plan to deliver. Like this, that's kind of like the message of the day, man. Some people are assigned to bless you, and some people are assigned to block you. Differentiate, find out who's who, and act accordingly. And act accordingly. And listen, before this, like this last piece, listen, and this might really hit a nerve here. I've never lost anything I was meant to have. And on that note, what he has for me is for me. But anyway, let me get my ass up out here. I'll give y'all 2.5 hours. Appreciate. Yeah, beautiful. For those who keep, I thought I gave you the new trap spot. I mean, they listen to my shit anyway. I thought I gave you the new trap spot. If not, I think I got your shit. So I'll reach out and drop it to you. We'll be going same, probably about 10. Probably about 10 tomorrow. We're gonna have a little fun. I got a couple clips I've been kind of sitting on. So if you want to come through, like I said, it's a little bit lighthearted. Yeah. Divine. Well, Divine does have obligations. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Divine. I'm sorry. Oh, but anyway, y'all have a good evening, man. Happy Veterans Day to those that are veterans tomorrow. Well, today. Wherever you at. If you stay warm out there. If you outside and whoo, y'all have a good night. Be blessed, and of course, I know Gator is probably asleep by now. My executive producer came back to the show. I'm so happy for that. I has been goddamn missing. He doesn't mingle with the peasants anymore. See, brother, I'm not. Maybe you in the other chat, she can't see it, but Divine, listen, and I feel wrong for even saying. He said you don't mingle with the peasants anymore. No pressure for me. No pressure for me. Be careful what you see out there. Anyway, y'all have a good day. Have a good week. We'll pick this back up. But I think Monday feels good. Monday feels like a good spot to kind of move this Sunday show to. We'll try it again next week. Probably won't be doing the vertical shit because it's throwing people off. But y'all know the phrase that pays over here. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But every time you learn. And I'm out.